Welcome to the Untrapped podcast, where we give motivational and inspirational tips about life, small business, wisdom,
health, wealth, finance, relationships.
It's about being the best you that you can possibly be. Hashtag Untrapped. Welcome to the Untrapped podcast. I am your host, Keith Kelfus.
What's up, guys? This is awesome. I'm talking right now with Pat Dundee from Cash Job Quoting Secrets in Australia. This guy sells $3.2 million worth of landscaping and hardscaping?
$3.1 million.
3.1. Okay, worth of landscaping and hardscaping every single year. And he has positioned himself to where he was, doing all the work in his landscaping business, from landscaping, hardscaping, excavating, retaining walls, the whole 9 yards. And now at this point in his journey, he's removed himself from that, and then he basically does the sales and stacks his profit and advertising costs on top of what he's doing. But this guy is a master of selling, because he's doing it all day. He's systematized it into a way that it just really, really works. It's liquid, it's fast, his level of qualifying customers. So hear me out. And AdWords, he's a master of Google AdWords. So if you're struggling in closing sales at the dollar amount you want, and maybe it's not clear, and you want some ways that you can sift through and get the cream of the crop, right? Skim the cream off the top so you get the best high-paying jobs, you're definitely in the right place. So Pat Dundee from Australia, bro, I love your hat. I love your accent. We've been talking for a few months now, and I've learned a lot of stuff from you, and I wanted to talk to you on a call here and just kind of share some of your knowledge. This is awesome. What's going on? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hey, buddy. Yeah. Thanks, mate. As you know, I'm on commission-only sales gun for hire. I'm a home improvement quoting expert. Landscaping is my area of expertise. And how I work is I get a contractor in it, and I just put my commission on top of his price. Right now, people, you might be wondering how you can do that, but I just put my commission on top of his price, and I also put the advertising on top of his price as well, and that's how I make my money. And it's been working really well. Now, to do this, you'd have to know how to put your extra money on top of jobs and still get them and not blow them out of the water. So
that's awesome.
Yes, it is. I was just watching a video of yours the other day when you were walking down the street, and I was you said on your video you do 10 quotes every Saturday, and your closing rate's 50 to 60%. And when you're competing against a bunch of small fry guys just like yourself, it's pretty hard work, and also because you've got 50% profit, your profit is 50% higher, or your prices are 50% higher than what they are, and it's pretty hard to sell them. So the amount of leads you have to go through to skim the cream off the top, and to get these little jobs, which is like $1,000 and $1,500 jobs, and that is like chasing field mice. Now, I've been doing this for years, and I'm going to say something that sounds kind of weird, eh? You're saying you have to compete with these guys, and all I'm saying is don't compete with them. And I say it may sound a little bit unusual, but I'll tell you a story about what happened to me. And now I've been doing this for years, as you know, and in the first maybe 20 years of my contracting on that, I was stuck in lower prices and all the rest of it, and I was just struggling, you know what I mean? But then I had a stroke of luck when I bumped into a couple of contractors at a bar and overheard their stories about how they were nailing jobs, and making $6,000 or $7,000 profit. Heck, I was struggling at the time. I was barely making enough to cover my bills, So you can imagine what I thought, I heard these contractors boasting about how much they were making, and I was thinking, nah, bullshit. That's just drink talk and bravado, That can't be right, eh? But these guys were they were pulling out all these $100 big rolls of $100 bills and they were paying their contractors in the bar. They had to work out of the bar, well, I call them cowboys or whatever, but they were splashing their money around, and they'd be drinking at the bar by 10 a.m. in the morning, and by 11 they'd be visiting hookers at the local brothel, and then back in the bar, back in the bar by 12:30 p.m. for lunch. You know, they had brand new cars, houses. They were a little bit, as I say, they were a little bit dodgy, but they actually were getting, they actually were making that much profit. Now the thing was that, boy, you know, I really wanted to find out what these guys were doing. They sure as hell weren't going to tell me anything, because I was their competition, you know. Then one week, all of a sudden, I started getting phone calls from homeowners who had easy cream jobs. They didn't beat me down in price. You know, I couldn't believe in these jobs. I was getting high margins on them. You know, I couldn't believe it, eh? I was wondering what the hell had changed, eh, you know. And then to my surprise, I looked at the newspaper and realised that the other dodgy contractors had forgotten to put adverts in the newspaper, and I was the first advert. So back then, when I was doing it, we used to use the newspaper. Everybody used to look up the newspaper, you know, and it's quite different today because you've got the internet. But that was back then. We had these little wee ads we could put in for, you know, $10 or something like that, eh? And they were nailing it, eh? But the thing was, I was first. Oh my God! And I realised something that I didn't know. You know, like I didn't even know that I was missing out on all these cream jobs. Because right at the top of the stack of these jobs, and there's you know, jobs can be arranged into I arrange them into an A list, a B list, and a C list, and I only go and see my A list jobs. But right at the top of the A list jobs, about 15 to 20% of those jobs are cream jobs, and they all say yes to anything. They all come over there. You don't even have to try. They'll come over and they'll say, "Oh yes, that sounds like a really good price. I thought it was going to be that much." And then you're doing this job and you're making a real good profit, you know. And so I'd never ever even seen those jobs ever. I didn't even know they existed, because these other guys, these guys that were out there, they were ex-car salesmen, and they used to sit on their phones in their car all day or in the bar, and they'd get a phone call. They'd even go out and do quotes when they were drunk. But they'd get a phone call, and they'd qualify them on the phone, find out how easy they were, and yep, that's a good one. They'd get in their car and go around in there and drive around and see these people straight away, walk around, close the job, you know, because it was easy to close as well. And then they'd have all these good jobs. You know, they'd nail them right on the spot there. You know, I was only left with all these shitty jobs that were difficult customers.
Wait a second. So they were right on the edge. They're like, "I'll be right there." So that's what they were waiting, almost like a taxi cab driver. They would go.
Mate, they were better than Uber, mate. Better than Uber. They went straight to the job. They were just sitting on their phones. They'd ring them and say, "It's a good one." Yep. These guys are professional. They were car salespeople, right? And they're really good at selling cars as well. And they just sit there and they go, bang, let's go. And they'd take off from the bar. They'd be all out of the bar, and then they'd all go and sit there, and they'd be drinking in the car on the way.
So that's interesting. So if you got completely out of the field and it's strictly in sales, you could position yourself to where you turn on way more leads, and you could just go full speed and like. Anyway, you just gave me an epiphany. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, that's right. So it was an epiphany to me, and then I realized that I was never going to beat. If I came in second, even if I got to the job first, these guys would still beat me. They were such good salespeople, and I didn't know anything about sales at all, you know. And so I was just a straight up guy, and I obviously I tried to get people to like you, and I'm honest, you know, straight up looking guy, you know. But then I realised my only way of beating these guys was not to compete, and that's what I was talking about before. Don't compete. So, and the only way not to compete was to actually get the phone call first, get to the job first, but no, before anybody else. Get the phone call first, get to the job first, talk to the customers, close the customers as best I could. You know, and in these cream jobs, they'll say yes to anything, right? And that was my way of not competing with these guys. And that's the same with, and then I realized that because what's happening here, when you were saying you do your 10 quotes on the weekend, right? 10 quotes on the weekend, you what happens is you give the customer time to ring up people, you know, at least three people, because I don't know about in Australia and that, everybody says always get 3 quotes. And not everybody does, but they might do it in America as well, you know, do they? USA, always get 3 quotes. Well, hell, you know, so what happens by the time you get to the weekend, they've talked to all these lovely people and even if they could be the biggest cowboys under the sun. I don't know if you call them cowboys over there. They could be doing shoddy guys under the sun or whatever. And they've talked to all these people, but they sound okay on the phone, and they're going to give them a good price and that. So now they're invested in getting these 3 quotes. So by the time you get there, your price might be up here. These other quotes are all down here, and you're never going to get. They're going to go, oh, no, mate, had another price. You know, he's far cheaper than you, mate. You know what I mean? And you're never going to get anything, right? But if you get there first, right? You get there first, and then they haven't talked to anybody. You set the benchmark. You set the benchmark for the quality. So everything else is based on whatever you say, that they have to go to another quote. And you get the opportunity to be able to nail a job first. You know, if it's a good job, nail it on the spot. And that's the only way to beat these guys, because these other guys, they start talking to him, they start believing him and think, oh, he's a nice guy, you know. He might be as dodgy as hell, or not even be a good contractor, but they start believing him, you know, and then they'll get him because he's 50% cheaper than you. That was a huge epiphany for me, basically. That was a huge aha moment. And my whole career is based off this. So if I knew if I put my ads in and I was above all these guys, I'd get the phone call first, right? Then if I got the phone call first, everything's done on the phone. The first phone call, you gain the customer's confidence. You talk to them. I talk to them so much on the phone that they don't want to talk to anybody else. They've already had enough. They just want me to come around. I promise I'm going to give them a good price. I mean, how? You can promise them anything. It is a good price. You know, you can say your price is still up here, right? And their price, those other cowboys are down there, but you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing for them. And it's still a good price.
You're saying that if you get to the customers and you get there first and you walk around the property, you raise the bar really, really high.
Absolutely.
Total professionalism. So they feel that sense of trust.
Yep.
All these other guys, they're not going to be able to compete with you.
Well, that's only if you don't get it on the spot, right? I do all sorts of things. I've got all sorts of ways of doing it. That's if you don't get it on. If you get it on the spot, well, that's sweet. And my main job and my main skill is actually getting the quote on the spot there, writing out. They just give me a deposit straight away, basically. Yeah. I get them to say yes. And they go, "What do you think, dear?" And they go, "Yeah, let's go." And that's what I get most of the time. You know, like 90% of my quotes do that. 90. Oh,
so I remember we were talking earlier time, and you said that you make sure the husband and the wife are there at the same time.
Absolutely. But you have to. I will not go and see a job unless both of them are there. Now even on a $200 job, they might blow you off on that, but if they're both there, they'll make the decision straight away. And they like this guy. Well, come on, let's get away. Do you want to get it done, darling? And they have this little conversation between them. And look, and I even do things, and there's other things they like. There's other secrets.
I haven't tracked it. I'm going off memory, and I'm not known to lie. And I told you this when we talked last, that my closing rate when the husband and wife are both there is 100%. I can't think of a time that I didn't close when the husband and wife were both there.
Mate, you're a good guy. I mean, I'd get my stuff done as well, actually, if you came around.
Yeah.
Actually, oh shit! Hang on a minute. My phone. Hang on a second.
Yeah, it's okay because they're both there. So if the husband and wife are there, whoever's kind of like who makes the decisions or whatever. I mean, there's 3 of you right there, and you're talking, and well, you want to do it or not, and they talk, and then if it's everything lines up, then they just say yes, right?
Exactly. They can't make a decision. I've had people say, first of all, I won't go around and see them.
Unplug your mic and plug it back in or something. I'm getting staticky.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Try now?
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
No, it's going funny every now and again. So I won't even go and do a quote unless they're both there. I will not do it because it's a waste of time. It actually, to be honest, it depresses me. I will not do it because it's a waste of time, because I have to travel. A lot of times I have to travel an hour.
The audio's messed up.
Is that?
Unplug and plug it back in again. No, it's just...
Oh, hang on a second.
Excuse me.
Can you hear me now?
That's good.
So I won't go and see anybody unless they're there, both there. And I've had guys tell me, "Nah, mate, I'm the man here. I do everything. She's in there and I'm out here. I'm the boss here." Eh? So I get there and I pull up there and I start talking to him, and then she walks out. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy, I don't know what world he's living in, mate, but she's definitely the boss here. You know what I mean? Eh? But no, it's not even that. They need to talk together. Now, what I do is I'll even go and sit in the car. Here's the thing. I've learned, here's a secret. I'll even go and sit in the car to give them time to talk together by themselves. A lot of them can't make, people can make decisions right in front of you. It's fine. And then, but I make an excuse to go and sit in the car just for a little while so they can say, "What do you think, honey? Let's just get it done." You know what I mean? Yeah, let's get it done. I'm sick of it. Let's do it now. So that's a secret, letting them talk together by themselves, because they can't actually talk openly unless. So they say, so they say, "Look, we're going to have to think about it." But if you give them a little time to think about it while in private, well, then they get to say what they've got to say, and then they can't be, they like you, and they can't be bothered getting any more quotes, because a lot of hassles getting quotes and things. But so I always get both people together. That way, you're gonna nail a sale, basically. Eh? So
more secrets. Give me more secrets.
Okay. More. No worries. So what you got to do is pick up the phone immediately, and a lot of people it's quite hard because they're working and all the rest of it. But rather than just doing the quotes, and here's what I suggest: when you get the good cream jobs and that, you do them immediately. You do them either after work or leave the guys there doing their shit and go and take off straight away, and do it, and then and you can nail them straight away. And then where the guys are just around the corner type of thing, we can do it for you. But the other jobs you can do on Saturday. Some of them you can't meet until Saturday. But what you got to do is you've got to have enough impact on them on the first phone call to give you an advantage over all the other guys. And you've actually got to have enough impact so they won't actually want to ring anybody else. And there's a whole lot of secret to doing that.
So is it like your way of being? The way you conduct yourself, your energy, your presence, your confidence, it's all of that, right? It's
all of that. Yeah, it's all of that. But I have certain things that I say to them, like Conor McGregor, and he's like Conor McGregor's. He's speaking to Khabib, and Khabib's not listening, but it is listening. It is going in. They don't even want to hear the stuff that I got to say. There's a certain thing that I do, and I don't agree with all these people that you got two ears and one mouth, right? Usually there's times for that, two ears and one mouth, but in the meanwhile I got to get my stuff into their head first, and then I start controlling the conversation right through. I don't let them tell their story. Basically, I start. Otherwise, they're gonna take it.
Hey, I'm putting you on the spot. This is my phone.
Yeah.
Ring, 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 ring. Ring, 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 ring.
Yeah, my thing's
ring, 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 ring. It's 3 rings. Ring, 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 ring. It's 4 rings. Ring, 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 ring,
yeah,
ring.
Hello?
Hi, my name is Keith Kelfus, and I saw I need to get a quote for some landscaping done. A patio in my backyard. I need made like with a fire pit and stuff. Did I call the right place?
Yes, you did. Yes, and And when are you looking at getting the patio done?
Oh, I don't know. I got a party at the end of the summer, and it's about
How far away is that?
2 months out.
Oh,
And I just was thinking, it's kind
2
of
months.
kind of messy back. Yeah. Why is that?
That's a long way, and that's a long time. We're looking for work now. Is there any way you can? Is there any way we can do it now?
Right now?
Oh yeah, the next week, yeah.
Well, I was trying to be proactive here and just get some prices and some ideas and some.
You're just chasing a couple of quotes then, basically, which is okay. So, well, look, we're kind of busy at the moment, and I'm really too busy to go out and see you at the moment because we've got to keep our guys going, and so what I'll do about a week beforehand, look, we'll do a really good job and we'll give you a really good price, and what I can do is I can pre-book you now if you like our price and everything, and to go at that time. So don't worry about missing out on a time slot. We'll do that, but as long as you ring me back, and I promise I'll give you a really good price. But at the moment, I've really got to keep our guys going. My boss has told me that I'd to go and see nobody unless they're ready to go now. So.
Yeah, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to go right now, right away. I just wanted to kind of get some ideas of what I'm looking. I mean, how am I supposed to know even what it would even cost?
What I'll do, I'll tell you what to do. If you can just fill out the contact box there on the website there, put your full name, your full address, and everything, and then and what I'll do is I'll give you a ring back. And so if you can fill out everything for me like that, and so what was your first name again? Keith.
Keith.
And whereabouts are you? Michigan.
Yep, Michigan.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's my area. But that's great. So if you can do that for us, I'll give you a ring back.
Perfect.
All right, buddy. Yeah. I'll talk to you soon.
Right. Bye.
Now.
Wait. I want to do another one.
No.
Come on, man. One more.
Wait.
Ring.
No. Wait. I got to explain. All these things here. You can hear me still?
Yeah.
All these things here are going to be in my course, right? I've got a course, and these are all going to be in my course, and these are my secrets. So
come on, I gotta give me one more, dude.
What I've got is what I've got. No, I've got these secrets, mate. Now what I do is what I did was I put them off, right? Because that's too far away. Nobody said these guys are just tire kickers at this stage. Oh, they're going to get quotes. I don't want that. I want somebody I can't even. They're not going to say yes 2 months out to you. Never going to say yes 2 months out. They'll say yes if they're going to do it in the next week, and like even if then they got to say, well, some of them say, well, you know what, there's no reason why we couldn't get it done straight away if we liked everything, and so that's when I'll go, really, I don't say really, I go, well, that'll be good, and then that's when I start getting interested and start putting them through my system, and that because they're ready to go.
Putting them through your system.
Yeah, I've got formulas. It's a system that I use. It's a system. It's the same system on everyone, and so it's easy. It's just there's.
Wait a second. You came up with the system?
Yeah, me. I did, and I've been modifying the system for 20 years, 30 years, 25 years.
God.
Look, what happens is you've got to have a system, because here's what happens. A lot of people sell on personality, and and they try to get them to like them, right? Which is part of the effect, but that can only get you so far, because everybody's trying to get them to like them, And then the people go, oh, they already know that. You've got to have like systems and formulas and the tactics to nail the job. So my system's not even I've got, if you can have the personality as well and the friendship thing, but a lot of people will go for that. But I mean, but if you don't have these systems, they see beyond that basically, and it only takes you to a certain level.
Bro, you already got my head spinning. Like if I have a system and scripts, I can run my secretary through it, and then can run. What?
No, you need to be there talking to them. This is the one in landscaping. It's the one job. The selling is the one job you cannot pass on to anybody else. It's the most important job, unless you've got somebody like me. Now, it's the most important job because everything's different. You walk onto a property, mate. I grew up with a chainsaw in my teeth, mate, climbing trees and everything. So you walk into a property and you're looking at a tree, and there's a glass fence on one side, a house on the other, and to get it in and out, you can't get machinery in there, so you're either going to have to wheelbarrow it all through the gate. There's all these different things that you need to work out, when you get onto the job.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you get in there, and then you've got to get a stump grinder in there, but there's all these rocks around, and then there may be
exactly. And only years and years of cold hard experience can teach you to look out
exactly. That's it. And so you need to be the person on the phone cannot do this, right? They cannot. There's nobody can do this for you. You need to be answering the phone and quickly get rid of them, like I did. I would have been even faster than that. Although we're on this, I would have got rid of you faster, basically, because I don't want looky-loos or bloody tire kickers, because they're not ready to go. I can base my whole existence on getting people that are ready to go now. They are ready to go now, and then because I can close them. You can't. They're just going to take your price there and go, oh well, that's okay. That's all right. Yeah, they take your price. They go, well, okay, thank you. And I'm going, fuck, I don't want that shit. I need them to go now. I'm going there to get a job. I'm not mucking around. I haven't got time to muck around doing all these jobs and that. So I was just telling you about the other day about this guy who he does stump grinding. I was doing a quote for a concrete driveway, but he was too much of a tired ass for me to. I didn't even go and see him because he was. I managed to cut him out of my list and put him onto my C list. I've got an A list of quotes, a B list.
Excuse me. Water,
right.
Wrong cube.
I've got an A list. I do that all the time. I've got an A list, a B list, and a C list, all right? And of phone calls that come in, of people that come in. Now, my A list, I'll only go and see my A list, right? And then my C list, I think, are you muted?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay, my C list, I won't even see them at all. So when I put them on the C list, I don't even worry about them again, no. And my A list are for people that are ready to go now that I've basically got a high percentage of chance, probably a 90% chance that I know I'm going to get over the phone. And I can go through all of these. Now I've got A, B, and C. Now my B list, I don't even go and see them unless my A list runs out. There's only really two lists actually. There's two lists, and there's an A list and a C list. But the B list is if I run out of my A list quotes and there's nothing else to do, and then I sit there thinking, well, can I really do this one? And I ring them up again and try and probe them for more information to see whether I'm actually going to get a job or not. Whether they're ready to say, yes. So, and what I'm really looking for is those bloody cream jobs in the A list. So this guy that I went and saw was a stump grinder, and he was a tree fella, stump grinder, and he had a chipper on the back of a big truck with a canopy, and he'd do everything on the spot. And he'd pull up this was his technique, right? He'd pull up with his truck and all his guys in the truck as well, and he'd go and see the customer, all right? The customer would he'd walk around with the customer and he'd say, look, we're just in between jobs now. If we can do it right now, I'll give you this price, he might knock a bit of a discount off it, and that just for doing it right now because you're helping us out, And so and that's how he does his whole job, and I can see that working, basically. And because what he's doing is creating urgency, and so the customer either has to say yes to the job because the guys are sitting out there right now and get that discount value, or they're going to drive off. So it's brilliant, right? That's the perfect scenario, but you can't always do that.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I get them to say yes to starting immediately or a couple of days away, and then we can ring them up later and say, look, we've been held up on a job, and we need to push your job out maybe just a couple more days. Is that okay with you? They always say yes, especially after they've given us the deposit and everything, written up a contract. So they're good secrets, mate.
Yeah.
So the thing is that when you're doing if you start qualifying them, you've got 10 quotes, you get 6 of them, on average, let's say 5 to 6 of them, but it takes you were telling me the other day that it takes you 4 hours to do those 4 other quotes because you got to travel there and all that sort of stuff as well.
I mean, some quotes take 6 minutes and some quotes take 60 minutes. And you
got a travel time. Time.
I mean, I was on one quote I was in and out in literally 90 seconds. Boom, boom, in and out in a minute. And then the next quote took an hour and a half. And I mean, that's how it works.
Yeah, that's it. So what I'm saying is roughly 4 hours. So if you can imagine, if you could work out all those quotes on the phone and just go to the 6 quotes that were the good ones and leave the other ones.
I'm saving 16 hours a month.
Yeah, that's it. That's a lot of time, a lot of free time because we're all pressed for time, and especially a lot of guys that have small businesses. They're working 80 or 90 hours a week. These guys, they're really hammering it.
In all honesty, I know this is not a coaching session for me, but so my phone rings. It all gets forwarded to the secretary. If they're window cleaning jobs, she can close them over the phone because she can look at Google and give them a price that's just based off of metrics or whatever. But when it comes to landscaping, I screen all the calls that come in. I let them all go to voicemail, and I listen to the voicemail, and I read all the transcripts. And if they're a customer that even seems like they're not my customer, I just throw them in the trash. If they're A-listers, I forward them all to the secretary who calls them all back and sets up quotes for Saturday. I know to you, you're like, are you insane? Why would you do that? Right?
Yeah. For me, the power.
But real quick, I'm in the field. I'm not always in the field, but for the most part now, I fired a guy and I got to find a new guy. So I'm in the field now, 9-10 hours a day, 5 days a week. Yes. I can't pick up my phone when I'm in a tree with a chainsaw or with a wheelbarrow. I can't fucking pick up the phone. And it's sorry to start cussing. It's so fucking stressful picking up the phone with these fucking telemarketers and people trying to sell you shit, and then people trying to cut you down. People look for the lowest price. And I even look at my phone now, and I bet you people in the comments are going to agree. I mean, it's an area code that I want. It's local. Okay, this is going to be, I pick it up. And now I'm stuck on the phone with some bastard who is literally sucking up my time. And this has happened 10, 15 times a day. And I just want to you're not my customer. Bye. Click and hang up on them.
Yeah,
as soon as so that's why I'm literally disgusted by I can't even pick up my own phone now. It's so damn distracting that it literally gives me anxiety just to even pick up my phone. Because I know that 9 out of 10 phone calls is going to be a waste of my fucking time, dude.
Yeah, I know. I know. I understand that. But there's a lot of them like that. But I've developed a system in that where you can do it. Like I get multi-level marketers as well, and they're ringing up. They're usually from India. They want to do SEO or AdWords and all the rest of it. And I go, mate, I'll tell you right now, I'm not interested. No, and I say, mate, I do all of my own AdWords, and I'm not interested. And I said, mate, I've had to tell. I get phone calls like this all the time, and I've had to tell some of these guys to fuck off, and I don't want to do that to you. So I tell you what, mate, I'm not interested. and you just what you do, you go and ring another person, and an easy person, because I'm not interested, and please take me off your list. And if they carry on, then I tell them to fuck off. And,
Hey, what about
shit, hang on a minute. Things just gone.
in Michigan? I get a lot of these phone calls that are like, yes, I'm looking for this, and this,
Yep.
and I want to know if you can about how much will it cost to give me this, and how soon can you come out and give me a price? And sorry, man, I'm getting pissed off.
I know.
Here, give me a secret right now. How do you get people off the phone as soon as possible? How do you get them off the phone without being unprofessional?
To stop them from, because I do concrete driveways, I always say,
I can't hear you. Your audio is all messed up. It's not your fault that the audio is messed up. Technology does this shit all the time.
So can you hear me now?
Oh yeah. Okay. How do I get people
Cool.
off the phone immediately?
Look, what I do is I take charge of everything, right? And I say, hi, how's it going? It's John here. And I go, hi, John, how are you going? Yeah, it's Pat Dundee here. Look, they go, yeah. I said, is it a driveway? So I take charge by asking them questions straight away. Is it a driveway? And then I start asking all these questions straight away. And then if they say, yes, it's a driveway. Oh, no, it's a path. Otherwise, they tell you this long story about how, what happened in the beginning when Adam and Eve were there and how they first moved in. And, they tell you the story about their driveway and what happened and how they done something to it. And you don't want all that shit. I say, is it a driveway? And they go, no, it's a footpath. Oh, it's a footpath. Oh my God. So how long is the footpath? It's only about 8 meters long. Oh, look, that's I'm sorry, but that's actually too small for us. Yeah, well, but look, thank you for your call, and it's too small. We've got a big team of guys. So yeah, so you have a good day, and I might even suggest.
All right, keep going.
Yeah, so I might even suggest some place for them to go, and I say, well, look, you have a nice day. I've got to get going right in the middle of something, but thank you for your call. Bye. That's it. See how long that took?
So you ask them a question. You say, okay, can you describe it? It's so you need some landscaping about. Yes. Oh, that's actually too small of a job for us. We got a big team of guys that.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, I said we'd be too expensive for you. I don't. But I tell you where you could go. I might tell them that, or I may not. I might say, but look, good luck. Just keep trying and whatnot. You'll find somebody that can do it. But I have to go right now. I've just turned off my chainsaw. I'm just saying if I was in a tree, and I have been in many trees, and bro, I've been in the trees, mate. You know what? I'll tell you how I've been in a tree. People that have never climbed trees before don't know that it's almost like being on a ship. The trees go across like this. They're actually moving. You don't look at it. You can't actually see it. The trees are actually going like this, and they're in the air. But anyway, so it's another story. But so anyway, so that's how I get rid of them. So I start taking control of it, and I start asking the questions and finding out where they want to go. And I say, look, okay, I'm just in the middle of something right now. If it's a really good job, I'll talk to them straight away. But I said, look, can you do me a favor? What's your name? Your first name? Oh yeah, and what's your area? So just so I remember you, because I get 100 calls a day, and I want to be able to remember who it is. Can you just text me and make sure you put your full name, your full address, and tell me that it's a new house? For instance, I don't do new houses because this is something I don't do. This is on my C list because they got no money. They're just building a new house. They're maxed out, and not only that, they're like lizards the way they make decisions, and they don't care. It's all about price, and the prices are all low, as well. So I don't even want them. And normally they ring up and they're 2 months away, and I go, well, look, so I said, look, here's the thing to do.
So you don't do people who just moved into their house?
Hell no. Because they've just spent all this money. They're not going to spend another $10,000 or $15,000. Even if when they bought a new house, they got no driveways. And over in Australia, and that the builder doesn't do the driveway. So you got to do that later. But I still won't do it. And I said, I'll only give you a quote. I said, I can't give you a quote on the phone. I said, I'll only give you a quote if I've got to meet you and your husband there, and we go through. I mark it all out on the ground, and we go through it to get it aesthetically pleasing and practical, and then that's the only time I can do a quote, and I can only do that a week beforehand because there's rubbish in the way and all that sort of stuff basically, and then they've still got to do the bobcatting on the house, on the brand new house.
Like playing chess, you've got a little system set up for every little scenario, and you just run that system to make things go in your favor.
Yes, and that's right. And the thing is, another thing is, people buy a house as an existing house, and they go, "Oh, we've just moved into this house." And I go, "Congratulations!" And then I already know that they're never going to be able to afford a new driveway. They're looking at it thinking it needs to be done. And I already know if I find that out first, because I've got all these questions that get all it gets all the information out of them. I interrogate them in a nice way, in a covert way. They don't even know they've been interrogated, and they start giving me this information. Oh, we've just bought a house, and we've just moved in. Okay. Oh, how long have you moved in? Oh, we've just moved in a week, and we're just looking to get a driveway done. They'll never get the driveway done. They've already just maxed themselves out on buying a house. Ever. Waste of time. I already know this, So,
so you actually say congratulations to get them talking a little bit, so you can.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, well, it's on any new house. Congratulations on your new house. That's awesome. What area is it? And I carry on and talk to them, but in my mind I say, well. And so what I say is, look, and how I get them off the phone is say, can you just put your name and address, your full name and address, and your phone number of your new house in the contact box there, and it'll go to all my devices, and I'll be able to give you a ring back. That's how I get them off. And they go, okay, that'll be good. And of course, sometimes I never ring them back but they can ring me, and if they're really persistent, they have to be jumping through a few hoops to get me, and I know that they want to go for something. Well, then I'll talk to them. But as I say, I get them. I just say, can you just fill out the contact box? I've already found out they're going to be no good. So, but what I do is I get them off the phone by saying, can you fill out the contact box there with your full name, your full address, and your phone number and everything, and then put down it's a new house as well. So it's it's tagging it for me, and in that way, and because I'm right in the business, right in the middle of something right now, and that way I can it'll go to all my devices. I say it can go to all my devices, and I'll be able to give you a ring back. Thank you.
Awesome.
So that gets them off the phone. Bang. And you've been nice and all the rest of it as well. Yeah.
Sweet. Hey, I have to wrap this up because my laptop that I'm on right now is about to die.
Okay.
Chargers is in a not a good location, so I might have literally 60 seconds to wrap this up, and I don't want to miss it.
Oh yeah, right. Now one more thing, right?
Yeah.
Now when I overheard these guys, and they said they had $6,000 and $7,000 profit, it was the best thing that ever happened to me, right? Because I didn't even know that money was even possible before then, and most people don't, basically, and that's why starting, like we were thinking about starting up a private Facebook group, and because you can hear other people, you can hear them saying, I'm getting $6,000, you're going, shit, but I've never done that before. You're realizing that if they can do it, you can do it. So and that it's actually really good for you. Anyway, mate, so
I want to make $6,000 profit on a job, guys. This is Pat Dundee. We got to do another call very, very soon here.
Yep. Cash job quoting secrets.
Okay. Later.
Awesome, buddy. You have a nice night.
You too.